watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
Good morning, Thursday, December 4th. So glad you're with us at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Netta Irampour, and you may have felt it. It was a windy night overnight. Let's show you some video here out of Kearney Mesa. Yeah, you see the palm fronds up there flowing, kind of the palm trees side to side. Wow, look at that. Yeah, it was loud too. So meteorologist Evan Arani has been keeping an eye on all of this. It feels dry.
It does.
It's
Dry
quite
wind.
the contrast compared to yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday was cool and cloudy.
Right.
Now it's dry, it's warmer. Santa Anas are back. Should be a clear sign. Wind gusts in Julian are going to be topping about 30 miles per hour at times. Looks like that'll be closer to the next couple hours or so. And what those Santa Ana winds are going to help to do is kick the clouds off the coast, which means that areas that do still have a good inundation of clouds should be watching for more and more sunshine throughout the day, and especially as we go overnight from tonight into tomorrow, which could allow for some cold overnight lows. Take a live look outside. This is what we have from Lions Peak. We earlier were able to make out that 99% full moon. Now you'll have to wait until about the 4 p.m. hour for us to see it in its entirety and in its fullness. 70 up by the coast this afternoon, 74 for our inland valleys, getting warmer than yesterday. And this is the start of a climb that will take us all the way into the next week with about 10 degrees above average of temperatures. As always, you can find an extended weather forecast on our free streaming channel, CBS 8 Plus. You can download it on your TV and watch for free. Vanessa, how are things going?
Wow, that was a gorgeous view of the sunrise there.
Nice.
6:01 is the time. Let's go ahead and give you this view's okay. Actually, I think it's really pretty, the downtown skyline with the 5 running like a river through it. We are looking at really nice drives across the county. As of last check, no major issues nor delays to report. This is what it looks like along the 6th Avenue area, that exit. And this is what it looks like a little more east on the 805 North as you pass Home Avenue, headed towards the 15 connector. All right, let's go ahead and zoom on into the South Bay. Right now, we're at full freeway speeds, and that goes for most of our major freeways this morning. I'm not seeing any major congestion nor delays. Happy to report that. Out of the East County, we're at full freeway speed, 65, 70 miles per hour. So same deal coming in from the North County. Coming up a little later, we'll take a look at what your Thursday travel times have in store. Eric.
This morning, new details are emerging in the investigation into human remains found at a property in South Crest. The district attorney's office has identified a person of interest.
74-year-old Dwight Roan is already facing charges in a different murder. He previously lived at the property on Newton Avenue. CBS 8's Richard Allen with the details.
As law enforcement continues to comb for clues at this property in South Crest, our cameras captured FBI agents focusing much of their search in the backyard of the property, as well as the crawl space of the home, as they continue to bring out a number of items. At this point, authorities have not said exactly where on the property those human remains were located, or whether those remains refer to one body or more than one, a discovery that has unsettled neighbors.
When you find that type of situation, it's just put something that you're not safe. You don't feel safe. Even if you're safe, you don't feel safe.
Law enforcement has also focused their investigation on a previous tenant here, 74-year-old Dwight Roan, who's now in custody for allegedly murdering 54-year-old Bernardo Moreno. Roan was arrested in February, accused of fatally shooting Moreno on Interstate 5 near State Route 905 back in October of 2023, and then burning his body. Court records reveal that Roan allegedly killed Moreno after the two men's dogs got into a fight, and Moreno fatally stabbed Roan's dog.
Conocí al señor Bernardo Moreno hace varios años.
Adolfo Villegas is Moreno's former landlord.
Pues me siento un poco triste porque...
And while he says he feels sad about his death, he finds it hard to believe that someone should have died on account of a dog.
Yo no lo puedo creer.
Court records also show that Dwight Roan has a lengthy criminal history, including armed robbery and sodomy, stretching back to the 1970s. At this point, though, Roan is not connected to the human remains discovered on the same property where he was formerly a tenant. But detectives say they want to talk to him, confirming that the tip that led to the discovery of those remains somehow stems from the 2023 murder he is accused of. Richard Allen, CBS 8.
Wow, a lot to come out of that. Roan, who is currently in custody in Chula Vista without bail, is scheduled to appear in court on that first-degree murder charge next Wednesday. We've also learned Roan had previously been apprehended for migrant smuggling in the Campo area. That's according to court records.
This morning, the military is confirming the death of a Marine during a training exercise at Camp Pendleton. The Marines say this all happened around 1:45 yesterday on the base, and the victim died of injuries sustained as the result of a, quote, tactical vehicle mishap. This incident currently under investigation. The Marine's name will not be released until 24 hours after family notification. Well, today you're invited to learn more about plans for offshore oil drilling. The Trump administration wants to reopen federal waters off the entire California coast and parts of the Gulf of Mexico near Florida. New offshore drilling hasn't been allowed in California since a 1969 oil spill. County Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer and environmental groups will talk about the move at the Encinitas Community Center at 6 p.m.
And now starting today, the tide will be high along the San Diego coast. King tides are set to roll in over the next couple of days. CBS 8's Steffi Roche talked to people in La Jolla.
The king tides are happening Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we caught up with those in La Jolla who are excited for the uniquely high tides.
There's an old saying, time and tide wait for no man. It's true. But you can catch San Diegans eagerly awaiting the king tides every year.
Just feeling super blessed to be in a place like this, to live so close to nature.
Pragathi Misro tells me her daughters are talking her ear off about the king tides.
My daughters told me about it. They're very obsessed with looking through the tide pools.
King tide events create a dramatic coastline with not only the highest tides, but also the lowest.
It's neat to see it because I don't see all the things that are underneath, and I never knew there's this many rocks and this many tide pools.
Thursday in La Jolla, NOAA reports a just over 7-foot high tide at 7:34 a.m. and a low tide of negative 1.68 feet just before 3 p.m. While high tides occur twice a day, king tides only occur a few times a year when a new or full moon is closest to the Earth during specific seasons.
There's a full moon, so that usually means king tides.
For some, the king tides aren't just about science. Wednesday, I met San Diego natives Brooke Robertson and Giovanni Domini, whose lives seem to align under a full moon, as a previous king tide removed them from the sea of singles.
At the king tide, I actually proposed to Brooke, just over there.
King tides bring exceptionally high tides caused by a stronger than normal gravitational pull from the moon and the sun. So, who knows? Maybe the cosmos will work in your favor too.
And Thursday's full moon is also a supermoon, making that gravitational pull even stronger.
In La Jolla, I'm Steffi Roche, CBS 8.
Oh, amazing.
Look at this.
I don't know about you, but I could just stare at the ocean all day. This is a live look at Mission Beach. So our photographers out there right now, you can see plenty of sand so far. So that means, you know, the full high tide, not quite here yet, but it's coming up. We're going to have tips for tide pooling coming up here at 6:30 as well.
And another hour and a half, right?
Yeah, and another 7:40 is what, right? That's what you've been talking about, Evan, when it'll reach, what, over 7 feet?
7.5 feet above sea level. So,
Okay.
but you know, when we kind of look along the coast in PB and Mission Beach and kind of see the boardwalk, all those waves kind of encroaching, it's a wild sight to see when it happens because it is so rare. But it's also something to just remember is a safety issue too, because so many people rely on those boardwalks to kind of get around. So just be aware of those king tides and when high tide is, mainly in the morning stretch. And then by the afternoon, we were talking earlier, 3 p.m. or so, a great opportunity to get outside and do some tide pooling and just walking around and exploring our local beaches. We have a beach hazard statement in effect until 10 a.m. on Friday. So today and tomorrow, we're still contending with these astronomically high tides. Current temperatures out the door are in the 30s for some of our mountains. Palomar Mountain, for example, 37 degrees. We're at 34 right now at Mount Laguna. But aside from that, we're pretty mild overall. Tonight into early tomorrow, thanks to the Santa Anas, we're going to start to see some cooler overnight lows come into play. We could watch for our mountains to cool down to the 20s overnight from tonight into tomorrow. Inland valleys in the low 40s. So while it is quite mild for now, we're going to be getting cooler as the next couple of days come around. Satellite radar showing there is still a decent amount of cloud cover out there that's going to be kicked off the coast as those Santa Anas get a little bit more breezy, but we're off to a gorgeous start. Sunrise views have been amazing on all of our mountain cameras. This afternoon, Santee and El Cajon looking at a high of 73 degrees. Down in San Ysidro, 71, along with Chula Vista and National City. We'll take you up to North County. Oceanside seeing a high of 69, expecting 71 in Fallbrook, Vista, and San Marcos. And this is just the start. We're getting into warmer territory by the beginning of next week, where our inland valleys will be in the low 80s to start next week. That's Monday, even Tuesday and Wednesday. Along the coast will be in the 70s through and through. Vanessa is standing by with a check of traffic. What are things doing out there on the road?
Overall, it's pretty quiet. Not much to talk about. I am tracking a breakdown that just popped up on the CAD, and this is going to be on the 52 West, right at the 15 connector. So as you make your way, let's say in from Santee, headed towards Tierra Santa. All right, let's go ahead and zoom on out, because other than that, we're at full freeway speeds for the most part. We're seeing some light brake tapping at the 6 o'clock hour, but again, nothing significant by any means. Right now, average speeds on both the 5 and the 805 still anywhere between 60 to 65 miles per hour. Same deal if you're traveling onto the island in from the Barrio Logan downtown area. Full span of the Coronado Bridge, average speeds there about 60 miles per hour or so. Here's what it looks like coming in from Santee, as well as the La Mesa Grossmont Center area, anywhere between 65, 70 mile per hour speeds. And again, all is well smooth sailing in from the North County. Here's what it looks like outside. We have the sun finally lighting up the sky and our major freeways. This is the 5 in both directions right at 6th Avenue. And as we switch gears, this is the 805. Again, things starting to pick up a little bit as you make your way in from Chula Vista, headed towards the North Park neighborhood. 10 to 15 minutes right now to get you in from San Ysidro, as well as the National City area via the 5 and the 805. And then here's a quick look at your drive times coming in from the East County. All right, 6:11 is the time. Let's go ahead and see what's happening with your border wait times. They are quite high this morning, over an hour if you're coming inbound from both San Ysidro and Otay Mesa. Otay Mesa's port of entry wait time about an hour and a half. Last check.